These are the top 10 best touring motorcycles on the market today, and it's going to be formed with a touch of my own personal opinion, along with the most popular and the best selling in the UK and further afield. So let's get straight into it. At number 10, we're kicking off our list with the Energica Experia. It's a slight curveball, and it's an all-electric option, and it starts at around £25,990 new. It is a hefty price tag, but it has 102 brake horsepower and 115 newton meters of torque. It's the first of its kind to aim for the long-distance touring market under all-electric propulsion. Despite its 260 kilogram wet weight, or electric weight. On the road, it's superb fun to ride, and it has a flush suite of electronics and rider aids like Bosch cornering ABS, addictive instant torque, and a 0 to 60 time of 3.5 seconds. Plus, as it's electric, it's quiet and vibration free. Naturally, the merits of an electric vehicle over long distances can be brought into question, and your typical combined range is around 160 miles between charges. And you wouldn't want to risk it running to below 10% for fear of it just conking out, even if there is fast charging available as standard. I'd say this alternative option is worthy of number 10 on the list. Do you agree? Will electric bikes be the future? Let us know what you think. A few quick stats for you here as well. It's 102 brake horsepower, 260 kilograms. It's got a 22.5 kilowatt hour battery, has an 847 millimeter seat, and it's £25,990 from new. Next up at number 9 is the BMW R1250 RT. It's a giant of the motorcycle touring world, and it's often seen in use with the police forces in the UK and Europe, and it's a well-dressed choice that's trusted for long days in the saddle and can certainly hold its own on the road. The starting price is £17,350, and for your money you get a 1254cc twin boxer engine with shaft drive and BMW shift cam tech. It outputs 136 brake horsepower and 143 newton meters of torque. Plenty of electronic gadgets too. Dynamic traction control, active cruise control, Pro ABS, a huge 10.5 inch TFT display, and that's to name but a few. It is the heaviest bike on the list, clocking in at 279 kilograms wet, but it is fitted with a huge 25 litre tank, telelever front suspension, and a paralever with preload and rebound adjustment at the rear. Many riders do lean into the GS series from BMW for their adventure kicks, another hugely popular and top-selling motorcycle the world over, or even the K1600 series. Plenty of touring options exist from the Bavarian giants, though they may be a tad expensive from new. This one has 136 brake horsepower, it's 279 kilograms, has a 25 litre tank. Seat height is between 805 to 825 mil as it's adjustable, and it's £17,350. Number 8, the Honda NT1100. Now, with the same motor from the famed Africa Twin, Honda put together the 2022 Honda NT1100 as a road-based solution for those who want long-distance capabilities with or without the DCT automatic option at a launch price of £12,499 for the manual model or £13,499 for the DCT. That smooth 1084cc parallel twin with 270-degree crank, which has 101 brake horsepower and 104 newton meters of torque, is a solid combination of low-end pull and comfortable 70 miles per hour cruising, particularly if you're solo riding or two up with full luggage. Weighing in at 248 kilograms with the DCT, it adds 10 kilograms from the standard model. The 20.4 litre tank is quoted to provide around 250 miles of range, and it's certainly a solid option for someone looking to do the distance, albeit the style is very polarizing. Some people say it looks like a whale on the road. The looks don't bother me too much though, and it's a good price and a top ride. It's cheap, and considering the panniers here are standard issue as well. Also from Honda, you thought I might forget to mention this, is a serious alternative in the Goldwing as well. It is revered in the two-wheeled world for a reason, and it loves a tour. But the NT1100 has 101 brake horsepower, it's 238 kilograms, it's got a 20.4 litre tank, it has an 820 mil saddle height, and it's £12,499 as a starting price. At number 7, we have the Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX. Now, Kawasaki's famous Ninja gets decked out with a touring treatment, but with a sporty flair. Before we cover this one though, I will also mention the Versys range from Kawasaki for those who want some more upright touring experiences, or even the H2SX for those with a lust for power. But here, this Ninja 1000 SX has a 1043cc inline-4 motor, providing 140 brake horsepower and 111 newton meters of torque to play with. It weighs in at 235 kilograms, and it has a 19 litre tank for around 180 miles of quoted range. range. The blend of sport styling with comfortable ergonomics is down to Kawasaki's ErgoFit system, which allows you to adjust the bike to suit you. There's also the KCMF, or Kawasaki Cornering Management function, with 6-axis IMU to help you along the way. Though it was once more of a budget-friendly option, the pricing now starts at £12,349 for the base model. That is certainly still palatable considering what you get for your money, and it is the cheapest on the list, but if you add the panniers for the Tourer or the Performance Tourer models, you do add on an extra £1,000 or £2,000 respectively, which makes it no longer the cheapest. Quick stats here: 140 brake horsepower, 235 kilograms, a 19-litre tank, 835mm seat, and it comes at a starting price of £12,349. Number 6, the KTM 1290 Super Duke GT, with the 1301cc V-twin proving an excellent tool for those after a thrilling, tech-heavy ride. The 2023 model starts at £18,799, with a devilish 175 brake horsepower and 141 Newton meters of torque to work with. KTM call it a bit of a weapon, and I'm inclined to agree. Naturally, there's also the 1290 Super Adventure S and R that are alternatives here from KTM, and they are decked out with the latest advanced electronics across the board. So you've got IMU fed traction control, cornering ABS, stability control, a performance mode, just to name but a few. Plus there's also WP semi-active suspension that ensures that the ride quality is bang on through the corners and overall terrains. The 223 kilogram Super Duke GT will be sure to handle anything you come across on a tour, and the 23-litre tank should be good for around about 220 miles. There's a feeling you can conquer it all of this bike, but at the back of your mind there's always going to be the fear that the electronics could give out midway through a cross-continental tour. It's 175 brake horsepower, 223 kilograms, 23-litre tank, 835mm saddle, and £18,799 as a starting price. So we reach number 5, and it's the Moto Guzzi V100 Mandello S. Now, celebrating 100 years of Guzzi goodness, the Italian manufacturer has learnt from their stylish past to create what they think is the touring motorcycle to take them forward for the next 100 years, and stuck self-deploying wings on the S model. It's a truly stunning motorcycle, and with prices starting at £15,750 or £13,500 for the base model, it's also not so bad on the wallet, factoring in the usual exclusive pricing from the Eagle brand. Smart semi-active suspension from Olin provides top-level road feel. There's heated grips and a quick shifter as standard, plus Bluetooth smartphone connectivity. A transverse 1042cc V-twin powers this motorcycle, giving you 115 brake horsepower and 105 Newton meters of torque at its peak via the shaft drive. So there's a balance of poise and style with tech galore, and it lands this Eagle at 5th in our list. Also, stay tuned for our review on this one as well, because we've just had it in and it was so much fun. So spoiler alert, we loved it. 115 brake horsepower, 233 kilograms of wet weight, 17-litre tank, 815mm seat height, and the price for the S model is £15,750. At number 4, we have the Suzuki GSX-S1000GT. Suzuki launched the GSX-S1000 as a naked liter bike with a Street Fighter style, and it had stacked headlights recently that caused a bit of a stir, but that's not on this GT version. This GT edition is priced at £12,499. There's also the GT Plus, including the hard luggage set, for £13,599. And it takes touring to the masses. It was the top-selling sports tourer in 2022, and it only went on sale in April. With the sport touring ergonomics that will suit two riders, it's more than just a naked bike that has a fairing stuck on the front. It's got the 999cc inline-4 with 150 brake horsepower and 106 Newton meters of torque, a 19-litre tank, which should be good for 180 miles, adjustable KYB forks, configurable riding modes, and a full colour TFT. It really could be a perfect option for a long tour. Tests and reviews have all seemingly come back gleaming about this GT, and for the price it's a pretty good contender for a rider looking for a sports tourer, but with also the performance to boot on the day-to-day. Or you could go for a V-Strom for a more upright tour, or a high abuser. That's always an option as well. Quick stats: 150 brake horsepower, 226 kilograms, 19-litre tank, 810mm saddle height, and it's £12,499. So we reach number 3, and it's the Ducati Multistrada V4. This Italian powerhouse slots in at the number 3 spot thanks to its gold standard of performance and rider comfort. There are plenty of options for the Multistrada, which means all roads in Italian, with some pricey variations including the stunning V4 Pikes Peak, the V4 Rally, and the V4S, and we have briefly ridden and the V4S at Bike Matters. You'll have to head to the Lexham Insurance website to read my review of that one. This standard V4 goes for £16,995. There is also the V2 variation, but sticking with the V4 for our list, that powerhouse 1158cc V4 Gran Turismo engine has 170 brake horsepower and 125 Newton meters of torque for a true rocket ship power on the road. It's certainly well decked out for long tours, with a main valve clearance service interval extended to only be required after 60,000 kilometers and oil service intervals at 15,000 kilometers or 24 months. It has the winning Ducati GNA within, and it's serious fun on the road. State-of-the-art electronics and rider aids are on board, including front and rear radar systems, top spec electronic assistance, electronic suspension, the usual rider modes, and more. It's all wrapped up in a pretty Italian package that weighs 240 kilograms with a 22-litre tank. Quick spec: 170 brake horsepower, 240 kilograms, a 22-litre tank, 840 to 860 mil saddle depending on your adjustment, and £16,995 as a starting price. Then we reach number 2, the Triumph Tiger 1200 GT. Now, Triumph's Tiger range has a bike to suit all touring appetites, with the 1200 T-Plane Triple being amongst the best out there right now. Other options include the 900 variants or even the Tiger Sport 660, which we recently had in, and the review for that will be going live very soon, so keep an eye out and subscribe. But we've gone for the £14,995 base model Tiger 1200 GT for our number 2 spot. There's a few Tiger 1200 variations here, with the off-road spec Rally and the Explorer spec, which have larger 30-litre tanks. But this base model gets you on the road at a decent price, and you can spec your way up from there. Expect to pay £18,495 for the GT Explorer, which is a bit pricey, but virtually everything was updated on the 2022 Tiger 1200, notably the chassis, electronics, and its all-new 1160cc shaft-driven triple, which has 148 brake horsepower and 130 Newton meters of torque on tap. It all comes together in a top-spec package from Hinckley, including nifty blind spot detection, semi-active suspension, cornering ABS and traction control, to name but a few of the features here. It really is a top spec machine. Quick stats for you: it's 148 brake horsepower, 240 kilograms of weight, 20 litres is the tank size, has an 850 to 870 mil saddle, and the base model GT is £14,995. So we've reached the summit of our top 10 touring adventure, and here we find the Yamaha Tracer 9 GT in the number 1 place. With a superb cross-plane triple engine, floating panniers and a raucous attitude, it's certainly a top spec and a top performing motorcycle, well worthy of the number 1 spot in my opinion. It's seriously popular in the UK too, and I've seen so many of these riding around, even the Tracer 7 and Tracer 7 GT models as well, which use the CP2 motor from the MT-07. But sticking with the Tracer 9 GT, this one's priced at £13,110 for the standard model, and a slightly pricier £14,910 for the Plus model, which gets radar gadgets and a few other little bits, and that feeds the assisted cruise and assisted braking, upgraded quick shifter, electronic suspension, and a new TFT display. That 890cc triple has 117 brake horsepower on tap and 93 Newton meters of torque. It's not the most on the list, but it's put down to the rear wheel impeccably well. You could call it the complete touring package if you wanted to, and it's a very competitive price for the amount of bike you get, regardless of the trim level that you opt for. We did also have a go on the uprated Yamaha Tracer 9 GT Plus edition here at Bike Matters, and it's improved a huge deal from the 2021 Tracer 9 GT that I tested on the UK launch. Other specs include the 18.7 litre tank, which quotes a 200-mile range. It weighs in at 223 kilograms wet, and it has a sporty ride feel, yet it's comfortable enough for long days in the saddle, so you can let your proverbial hair down too. Quick spec for you: it's got 117 brake horsepower, 223 kilogram weight, 18.7 litre tank. It has an adjustable 820 to 835 mil saddle, and the price is £13,110. So that's our top 10. Do you agree with our 10 that we've listed here? What's your number 1 pick? You can check out the Tracer 9 GT Plus review up here. You can also check out the top 10 new 2023 motorcycles over there. Also, subscribe please. You can do that down there. Cheers for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again on the next one. Goodbye.